Good evening, boys and girls. It is the end of turn 22, the 16th of November. And once again, it's time to unleash the German attacks. I do believe I have done whatever I can in the middle of November to slow down the Wehrmacht's spearheads progressing towards Moscow and Rzhev. The pincers closing upon our central position. And I just found out that we have a heart-shaped formation more or less here, except that we're lacking a little bit of a breakthrough here to achieve it fully. Do you want some music with that streaming? Yes, I think so. There we go. Are we about ready? Ground support is off. I think that's what we need to do. We have message level 2, which is fine for me. We zoomed in as far as we can. And here we go. Oh yeah, we have plenty of time to consider our mistakes and talk at the beginning of the German turn here. I think I'm scared of the Germans making a breakthrough and cutting off the rail lines. Not only because I'm afraid of Moscow actually falling, but it does make the strategic situation on moving troops from the north to the south very hard, very difficult. I already feel it with the Ryazan railroad. I kind of have to consider this in future games, that this railroad line, I often abandon it because it's such bad terrain to defend. But it's a very important railroad. There is nothing you have to go around, so it might be worth to invest in forts in front of this position, to be honest, and try to keep this railroad open. Obviously, when that is going to happen, you are very strained on resources. So I'm not saying it's a given to do it, but if it's possible, I haven't really. I suppose I ended up in this situation with it being cut off in previous playthroughs, and but there was nothing I was thinking about this game that you need to keep the Ryazan section of the rail open. Hopefully, we can reestablish it during the winter. I did make a decision to release more brigades from the reserve that wasn't fully trained yet. So we do have a little bit more forces coming out. Around 50,000 more troops, most of them going to Leningrad and Moscow. Lots of Luftwaffe on the map. Yep, we are seeing the Luftwaffe making an entrance now during the snowfall turns. I did not quite check out how many operational losses the Germans are suffering for operating at full strength. Here comes the first. It is a retreat. This railroad is of no importance. And we are slowing them down. And it is the elite Flieger division. Yes, I saw this guy sitting in the back line. And he is a monster. And he still got 15 attack points, but it's only a retreat on a 20-1. Well, swamp and river helps me a lot, and this rifle brigade is going to be somewhat efficient, losing 600 troops. Scary, but at least he is spent for this week. 7th Flieger Division. A newly arrived rifle brigade. It loses 4,000. It's very bad news. He managed to send in... Yeah, that's the problem with deploying single brigades. They are vulnerable to heavy attacks. So this is not very... It's not excellent. Although the hex in itself, I can afford to lose for now. This is a very strong hex. He attacks. I'm glad he goes into this one. Yeah, it's a level... Okay, it's only level 2. I think it's swamp. And 39,000 attacker can't budge 27,000. So that's... I'm so happy he's attacking there and not this weak hex here with only 24 defense. I was afraid he was going to push further towards the Lake of Shores of Ladoga. Maybe he feels he needs to widen the breach. So very well done, General Bersarin. Order of Lenin for you again. 5th degree. No. Fuck. He made it. Level 2, fort and swamp. 2 routes. Only 1600 losses though. This is a bad breakthrough. This is bad. Of course. He's got plenty of air support, but we have fighters intercepting. Yes, I did deploy an entire air wing here. Yeah, it is a light forest and it's no river, but it's still a level 3 fort, and yet he pushes us back. Okay, he's not slowing down. How about here? 2 divisions versus 1. Can we stop him? Yes, we did held him off here in our level 3 fort. Well done, General Perkayev. We're not losing terrain we can't lose. He's not deploying his panzers in attacks yet. I'll look at the defense values. Okay, the last strong position here. 39,000. And he pushes it out from the swamp. Lots of air support. 12 versus 9. Okay. Well, decent retreat losses. Only 1,000. Oh my god, German attacks are so strong in this sector. Come on, hold, Leningrad, hold. 90,000 attackers to 47,000 defenders. It's a huge battle. Come on, hold. Nope. I'm not gonna hold this, am I? Yes, we held it. We held it, didn't we? Come on. Yes. Let's analyze this. Oh my god. The fort went down from 3 to 1. The attacker loses 2,300. So losses are good. And look at the intensity of the battle. 63 general. Only 9 and 3 artillery engineers. But okay, so another week we held off the attacks in Leningrad, but the pressure is immense in the north. It's relentless. It's brutal. Ooh, scary, scary. Okay, so he's gonna push us out again. He comes in again with 66,000. We're not gonna hold it with a level 1 fort. Are we? Are we? No air support? Come on. Yes! Woo! Well done, Golikov. Well done. These are strong divisions for sure. And they have strong support. Losses are about equal. Germans ran out of air support. Alright. Super heavy combat. But, you know. Do we even... I can see air landing divisions here. Isn't that the 22nd? Isn't that what starts off in Romania? He raided up here. It is a very strong division, the air landing division. And now we lost the fort, so it's down to 0. Oh my god. And we don't have any reserves to replace these divisions behind. It is empty. Leningrad, I don't have anything here to reinforce trade places. Ooh. Oh my god, this is such a nail biter. We are in the Valdai wildernesses, you know, west of Moscow. I guess they push us out of our level 3 fort in a heavy woods hex, quite conveniently. I'm a bit disappointed here. 26,000 attackers to 13,000. Okay, 10 to 1. The Spanish blue infantry division is attacking. No air support. It's unfortunate, but you know, we live to fight another day. They pushed us out of a strong position. Now we're retreating back into the next one. It's the Latvian rifle division. It's not a very strong division. Actually, I think it disbands later on. All right, this is less fun. He keeps pushing us here in the center. Obviously, I'm afraid that I'll lose the depot and the rail line here, so that's what we're fighting for in this sector. Okay. You know, it would be nice if we could have a hell result. Okay, these are the retreating troops, so they're tired and they're not fortified, so I guess we should be grateful it's not a rout. Only 4 to 1, so that explains it. Lukin isn't a great general either. Yeah, they're pushing in. They're pushing in. Come on, hold. No. No, it's a retreat. Yeah. Considering the combat odds of 26 to 1. I'm fairly happy with the losses here. Remember, we are playing with lower retreat settings, lower retreat losses, because I just find the default ones, the normal regular setting, it's a bit oppressive. It's excessive, and sure, it benefits the Soviets mostly in 1941, but it will be the other way around for the rest of the war. So yeah, I don't know who benefits the most from it. We have the lower combat interception or delay, combat delay build up as a compensation. So that's another way to change the game to be a bit more fluid combat wise. The Valdai sector, week after week, we just suffer retreat losses. All right, this is important. This is a Rezhev. And, okay, this was a very important battle because it's a cavalry division that held off a German infantry division. Sure, it's a very weak one. He's been attrition down to 7,000. But I'm fairly happy with this. He's crossed a river in Zok, zone of control, so we'll see if he can attack again. Of course he can. Of course he can. But it's probably a non-deliberate, a hasty attack, and actually we defend. Again, I have to see the losses. Okay, nice. Almost 10 to 1 losses. Yeah, I know they're small, it doesn't matter. And it's not like we have the heaviest amount of artillery to our assistance in this sector of the front, that's for sure. But General Galitsky is doing a good job here. He's wasting his attacks on trying to encircle Rezhev, and it's not succeeding. Okay, he's deploying into the gap here. I think we have... Oh shit here. Oh! I am amazed. He sends in the 19th Panzer Division with its complement of 94 tanks into the swamps, attacks across river, into the light woods, against the very weak 51st Rifle Division under General Galitsky, who is admittedly a good general. And wouldn't you know it, we held him off. We don't have a fort level at all, because I think we're refitting here. I'm not even sure. I think this is an unready division. It's not even ready. And if you're unready to, maybe he reinforced enough during my turn, at the end of my turn. And of course the German has very low combat values, 3 here. 94 tanks is not too shabby at this stage of the war. I think German Panzer divisions in 1941, they start with 2 Panzer regiments consisting of 100 each. So is it 200 that's a starting complement, or is it only 150 in one Panzer regiment? I am kind of tired. Anyways, 16 tanks lost. Excellent job. Are we gonna see another hasty attack? Probably. Look at the small skirmish battles. We are both so exhausted, our front lines. It's really 2 sluggish boxers at the end of a 16-round boxing bout, leaning against each other, not having the strength to do anything properly. North of Ryazan, yeah, nice. It's looking well. Okay, this could have been, it would have broken the railroad connection into Ryazan, but I don't think we are shipping in freight into Ryazan anyways, as it is, even though we control the hexes on the rail line. But of course it would have been even more pressure against, Ryazan would have been under threat of being encircled. Actually, it still can. If he sends these divisions in here where he routed my brigade and I lose this one, we would have had a pocket. So this is a very important battle. But in itself, it's fairly even. We have a nice fort. It's across river. And it's 1-to-1 odds. So I think I deserve this victory, even though we have bad leadership here. No air support. Quite exciting. I'm happy we held that one. Yeah. He's really trying to isolate Ryazan, isn't he? But it's looking good again. Yes. The German war machine is running out of steam, and the French infantry regiment, I don't know what LVF stands for. Do you know? Do you know anything about this? Let me know in the comments. I probably have to Google this. Can you Wikipedia it from inside the game? Look at the losses. They're so cute. 35-16. But it is a hell result. It counts as a full battle. And I know this rifle division is very weak. Only 5,000. No artillery support whatsoever. These end of November battles are so ridiculously minuscule. Okay, well done, General Zuravlev. Keep it up. Keep it up. I tell you. Yeah, I don't want Ryazan. I didn't think he would attack here. Either I'm lucky or I'm a genius. I don't know which. I do have... Okay, here comes the next one. Alright. This is one of the strong divisions that came in fresh with good morale and ran down from the Kalinin sector. Not this turn, the last turn. So I suppose he's had a time to sit in the front line. He's behind the river. I think it's light forest. And he holds off a full German infantry division, but oh my god, is he weak. He has been attritioned during the entire campaign. Alright, another well-deserved held. I think Moscow sector is looking much better than Leningrad. I lost every battle in Leningrad, but I'm doing fairly well here at Moscow and Rezhev, which is this key location here. Here's Moscow. There's Ryazan, and here's where we held our important bottleneck locations. So far so good. And we actually held him off here as well. Took a bit of a beating here. We're down at Voronezh. We see a Hungarian motorized brigade along with his Axis German allies. They have pushed up. Here comes the Italians. And it's a heavy attack. 48,000 attackers to 20,000 defenders. And that's not gonna stand. The 13th Army under General Petrov keeps taking heavy losses, even though we did fall back and abandon a lot of terrain here. He's making a supreme effort and sends in a huge amount of troops, and of course our losses are devastating, 4,600. So that's very unfortunate. But I don't think there's much I could have done. This is just, look at, he's attacking with 6 units from 2 hexes here. Should I be scared of the SS sitting here in reserve behind? Painful, but it's just the nature of trying to defeat Germans on the open fields of Ukraine. Don't do it at home, kids. Come on, hold, fuck, again. Oh, I'm so annoyed. Well, what do you expect? 30,000 attackers, including, I don't know. And we only have 10,000. 2,500 defenders. It is a river crossing attack in a level 1 fort, but this is just not gonna stand, and we rout. Heavy pressure. I mean, what we're fighting about in this sector is this depot here. And I suppose I will fall back to this river instead. I did fall back quite a distance this turn. It's just a matter that the Germans have a huge force that are still coming on from Kharkov and this direction here. It's just what it is. A level 2 fort, I know. That doesn't help. Okay, this is this is pretty bad for your player morale when you see battle after battle. Level 2 fort doesn't help. This was a fairly good defending division. However, the attackers are 30,000 strong, so it's a 3-to-1 number-wise, and with a 9-to-1, I guess I've been building up a lot of fatigue, and I was not ready to only retreat, so it's a rout. 1,600 losses. Okay. Wow. Pressure. Heavy pressure in Ukraine. East of Kharkov. Painful. But I'm doing a bit better in the northern sector here. They are leaving... Oh, sorry. Stalino. Oh, he sends in panzers in the corridor. Is he going to attack, or is he just wasting fatigue? Moving in zone of control, which the AI I think that I think he doesn't pay enemy zonal control cost, movement cost at this difficulty level. See, he's got troops all the way in here. But my defenses are strong. You haven't seen many German attacks at Stalino for... This would be the second week. I can't really remember 3 weeks ago. I think there were some attacks, yeah, but... So that means he's been resting and refitting, and he's gonna be very powerful if this, not this week, next week. The last week of November, the last week before the blizzard begins, the last week before the German first winter effects starts, where they have less supply because supply, freight, railroad transport becomes more expensive and fatigue increases. They don't really get lower combat values per se. I think it's just the addition of extra fatigue makes their combat stats worse. Okay, now the German AI pauses usually at this stage of the time. I think their priority attacks are over and they're now going down to Axis army regular attacks. They can be few or sometimes quite a lot of them. What would I say about this turn? I felt very depressed up at Leningrad. I'm not thrilled about Kharkov, but Moscow and the Moscow sector was fine. Rzhev, you know. I think I'll take it. I think I'll take it. Is this it? I think I'm fairly happy with this turn, to be honest. Losses 60-70,000. Am I being generous to myself? Is it more? No, 70,000. Oh, Leningrad had a lot of attacks. 70, 75? I mean, you can clearly feel that the German troops are tired, right? This is not way as strong as they were back in June when they started Operation Barbarossa, of course. Have I been forgetting my transport planes? I really don't need supply anywhere. I think most of my positions are in fine supply. Okay. I'm just gonna check the length of the video. Yeah. I don't know. Where do you see 28 minutes? So we can take, let's try to make it half an hour, and we can take a few seconds to examine the end of turn. Wow. Oh, better than I expected. Only 62,000 losses. 243 tanks. Where did they... He didn't attack any tank divisions, I think. So I'm not quite sure where I suffered these losses, to be honest. Maybe I'll find it. I feel this turn's losses are definitely bearable. I do increase my amount of troops, but I'm starting to lose more tanks than I can replace with my production. I'm running out of old pre-war tanks. The Germans keep losing troops, 43,000 less on the map. Almost 100 tanks are off the map. So number-wise, it's looking good. And that is the entire overall picture. And as you can see here, we have a lot of reinforcements coming in this turn. That's nice. Iran is secure. So, okay, I'm gonna read this. Transcaucasus TB ground requirement reduced to 47. I don't know what it was before. Add to 10. Okay. Soviet controlled regions added to Transcaucasus theater box. I don't know what that means. The Axis have success in the Balkans. Okay, so that again might explain why they keep losing troops on the map and increasing their army size overall. So yeah, of course this is a disaster. We don't have a fort in Leningrad. Actually, the suburb called Kolpino. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hold this hex here. But the good thing is that they didn't push me back closer towards the Lake Ladoga shores. They just cleared out general fortified hexes. We do have a few troops coming in here, and I think we have 6 more infantry brigades. Sorry, marine brigades. But is this gonna be enough to slow down the Germans? It is the last turn before Blizzard. Well, okay, that's not correct. Next turn is the last turn before Blizzard. So it is the last turn the Germans have to attack without suffering heavy disadvantages. So I should be able to keep the road into Moscow open. Not quite sure how I'm gonna do it, but I think even with the losses suffered here, I didn't lose vital terrain. I lost the battles, I lost the defensive positions, but it was the right hexes to lose. Okay, enough said about that. Regev, looking better than expected, to be honest. He did not make a lot of progress here in this theater, and he's leaving himself open. Okay, I like what I'm seeing here. And we do have a new guard, the 7th Guard Division. Let's go with something happened with the leader. I don't know who this leader is. General Antoniuk. His initiative improves to 4. Alright, since I don't know his name and since his value is low, he's probably not one of the most vital leaders to have an improvement on. But it's always nice to see, you know, we haven't seen him fighting a lot, so he didn't earn this. It's very random. But we're gonna check rename. Okay, 110th Rifle Division is the 7th Guards Rifle Division. All right, I'm just gonna see if it's a very good division. It's one of the most elite. It has 64 morale with an attached tank brigade. 7 wins and 1 losses. So we're now gonna start grinding with this division and give it some really good morale increase. Let's put him on top. Nice. I like guards. And he didn't break the railroad line into... Nope, it's still open. Except that it's yellow, so we don't use... I don't understand this. In zonal control, sometimes it's yellow. Is it because it could be that the rail line is damaged? It's not. The rail yard has 0 damage. So I don't understand. Sometimes cities in the front get rail supply, and sometimes they do not. This turn, oh, all right. So yeah. This turn we got 16,000 freight stored inside Vyazma. I increased the depot level to 4 the last week because I wanted to stock up on supplies in this sector if I get isolated or if the railroad connection gets cut off. So definitely yellow doesn't mean that the supply rail connection doesn't work. Okay, nice. I'm glad to see that. And here we have also stored up 9,000 supplies in this. So even if now I have plenty of supplies in the Western Front sector, and that was in case we were to see heavier German attacks than we did this week. So everything is looking fairly well in this sector, to be honest. And you know, the Germans didn't do a lot at Moscow either. They just pushed back. I expected to see a lot more. There was the week before they did a lot of attacks, so I suppose they were a bit exhausted now. Okay, this is good news. This is good news. They have re-established the front line in front of our winter offensive here. That's fine. I don't expect these defenses to be very strong. And no, they're not. Individual regiments. Very weak divisions. Individual regiments. Yeah, we're gonna have a heyday here. The Panzer stack here disappeared. Actually, I think they're at a threat of again maybe being cut off here again, because remember they made an assault here, this direction here. It could have been bad for me here. I could have been cut off. And the gamble to hold Oka forts held off this turn again. I have to say something about that. You might wonder, how can these guys survive? They must have been so exhausted because of the attrition from zone of control. But I do have the best general in the Soviet army, Vasilevsky, with his 8-9 admin. So even though they're semi-isolated, they're actually in fairly good shape. They sit in nice forts, and they have the best leader. So their fatigue isn't incredibly bad, and as you that tells on the combat defense values here. So good job, Russia. Good job, Vasilevsky. Just gonna check how much we got. 6,000 supplies, and this turn we are going to be able to establish a new depot. We couldn't last week. Here we have only 1,600 supplies. Yeah. So we should have plenty of supplies for our winter offensive, Operation Venus, whatever it's called. Yes, I did suffer a lot of losses in Ukraine, in the Kharkov sector, but all of the divisions actually rallied except one here. So, you know, there's still depth, even though the quality and the numbers aren't there yet. I'm probably gonna have to run away here. And Stalina was quiet again, which is in my advantage. He's not strong enough to move any of my killer stacks here, or Uber stacks or whatever. So actually I think this looks like a good opportunity to strike this very weak Panzer division. Which one is it? It doesn't say. Why doesn't it say? Is it because it's the air phase now? Oh, it's the 14th Panzer Division. I made a 16th Panzer Division route the last turn in this sector. And the Soviet AI is friendly enough to bring up a new lamb to the slaughter for me. Very stupid move. I need to think. If you have an opinion, if you're playing a 120 difficulty AI, are you gonna refrain from bashing stupid AI moves like this, or are you gonna have a house rule that says anything is allowed? I'm even considering moving out some troops from Genichek and hitting these weak regiments here. Okay, I'm yapping again. Anyways, I felt very bad at Leningrad, but then as the turn progressed, another division here, that's always nice. Nothing in Baku, however. So this is about, oh, here's from the northern front. Okay, so at least 2 new divisions to rail in, pre-war strong divisions, and we do have the 3rd Guards Division sitting on rail already from the southern sector that I can send wherever I want on the front. And with these reinforcements here and these rail divisions, I think the Battle of Moscow might be won by now. Battle of Rzhev looks good, looks better than last week, but we'll see. Okay, sorry for making the combat video a bit longer, a bit of a combined start of turn 23. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. I'm so happy that we finally are streaming on high quality video with OBS instead of Streamlabs desktop crap app program software. See you in the next one. Take care.